Did you know that consciousness is limited by its hardware? So what do I mean by hardware? Well, I truly and simply mean the human body. For you see, our mind, our conscious awareness, is not only informed, but it's absolutely limited by and created by our body, by our design, our unique potential for differentiation. And so today we're going to go into some of those details on a chart for somebody who hasn't been born yet. We're talking about July 16th, 2025. Someone born in London. So this person is actually a manifester. They are an emotional manifester, a 4-6. So we know right here this person is going through that 6-line process. However, the 6-line process of the previous person we were speaking about, this person had the 6th line in their personality, so in their conscious mind that they're aware of, that's really running the show. And today we have somebody who has the 6-line theme in their design. So this is the 6-line 3-stage process coming through the unconscious life experience. It's a little bit different, and especially when we have the 4th line as a personality. This creates an opportunistic role model, somebody who works through networks of friends and, makes mistakes with these friends and makes commitments and externalizes their potential with other people. And they discover, I don't actually want to be around that person at all. That person's not my friend, but I thought they were. And they'll go through that a lot as they're going through those first 30 years of life. And then the second 20 years, the Saturnarian return hits, and they become more objective. And this is a real fascinating spot for the 4-6, when they can really become the voyeur. For you see this, the 6th line is externalizing opportunistically to other people within networks. It's communicating with human beings, and it's traveling around. And so they have a strong sense of sampling this and sampling that and sampling this and sampling that, getting closer and closer and closer to what's really meant for them. And so we're going to get down into the open centers today. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open centers in this chart. We have the heart, the self, the sacral, the root, and the spleen. This means that this person has problems holding on to things that aren't good for them, in trying to get rid of the pressure, in trying to prove their worth, in trying to look for love and direction, and to top it all off, they do not know when enough is enough. And so if that isn't a fun recipe for life already, this person has a situation of being an emotional manifester. So their aura is actually closed off and repelling. It pushes everything away and it's closed in its space. And so these people very often get seen as outsiders or lone wolves. But this person is deeply social, deeply human, experientially involved, I should say, with that 35-36 as their primary channel connecting the throat to the splenic center, or rather, my apologies, connecting the throat to the solar plex, the emotional center, giving them this capacity of being the jack of all trades. For you see, the 35 is a gate of hunger and a gate of fullness. You see, it is, I've had enough of this experience, I am full, let's move on to the next, or I'm hungry for another experience. And you combine that 35 with the 36 in the solar plex. This is unconscious. This is, instead of I have had enough experience, let's move on, in the 35. In the 36, we have youthful inexperience seeking experience. This 36 is actually called crisis, the darkening of the light. And this is simply because when you are inexperienced and when you are willing to put yourself into a new situation from a lack of experience, it's very possible to create a crisis. I happen to be a 36. I know all about this emotional experience of being a noob and yet going out there and doing what you can and experiencing crisis, you know? Thankfully, I've got a skillful way about me. I've got the 1648 to back that up, but You see, this person has the 6447, which is, I believe, another logical process. However, this is logical within the mind. So it's less about communication and more about internal logical understanding. So there's just about 5 minutes on this emotional manifestor 4-6, born in 2027, not yet, but just a little bit of my perspective and what I can share on design with anybody within 5 minutes just looking at that chart. Like, we can dive in for hours on all of this stuff. The totality of human experience has been not only measured, but it has been pieced together like puzzles into a beautiful structure that we can now appreciate together, and we don't have to get wrapped up in delusions anymore. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to reach out. I offer one-on-one readings over Zoom, as well as a monthly call that's still in construction. However, the monthly call is much cheaper. It's just about $7 a month to have access. So that's nice, whereas the hour-long readings with me is about $50. So if you're looking to dive into a life transformational experience, feel free to reach out. I'll take care. Peace.